Okay, just gonna jump right into the middle of this because I don't know any better and I need to adjust this. Shit. There we go. That's better. Alright. For the first time, I'm gonna post something about me cooking and this is gonna be it. Alright, I'm cooking about ribeye steak. You kind of want to overly season the meat. I kind of did a little too much here, so take your judgment, hold back from that a little bit. Of course, your salt, pepper. I didn't add any real oils or anything to the meat. I just let it sit half an hour, 20 minutes to a half an hour outside of the fridge, so that way it could be a nice, good temperature for you to cook. You don't want to cook cold meat because, again, it's a lot harder and difficult for you to really get the meat going and cooked properly. And FYI, always make sure you have oil because cooking, frying a steak really on a stovetop, you want to have a nice, good olive oil. I think that was extra virgin olive oil or extra virgin. I don't know how extra you can get as a virgin in this world, but fuck it. I curse, so surprise. Pick up all that extra seasoning that you had to the side, put it to the side of the meat because you're gonna want to use that, especially for when you're frying it. You'll see in a bit. Now I'm gonna bring you over to the stove, and I've already had it heating. From what I just saw in the picture, I had it to about an 8.5, maybe a 9, because I really want that to get a nice hot temperature because you want to sear the outside of the steak to make sure that flavor is retained from the meat. I just burped a little bit because I did eat this immediately afterwards from cooking. I got some Kerrygold butter there because it's definitely a butter from not just my childhood, but very flavorful for a butter, I guess. I don't know how much of that is really gonna be. I can't judge butter. I just know it's butter and it's amazing butter. In the background, I'm pretty much getting a piece of garlic. You can kind of see in the partial reflection, I'm trying to peel that garlic properly. And I'm gonna be interrupted by my niece in a moment because she loves showing up at the wrong time and never stops talking. Alright, now my pan is pretty hot and pretty sure it's smoking right now, even though you can't see it, but now the oil's in the pot, you can see it better. So there it goes, and it is frying up very nicely. I'm gonna probably turn on my stove again because I thought it was a little too hot, and you can judge for yourself. And mind you, what I'm cooking right now is a medium rare style of cooking, so there's a way to tell better how you want to cook your steak. You start with your palm leading up the arm. From the palm itself, that's medium rare. If you want it, actually no, that's rare. Then you get around to the wrist, the way the toughness right is right there, where you would take your pulse. That's where you want for a medium rare. And then leading further up the arm, that's where you want well done. And well done, not that good to me. I prefer my steaks like that. Oh yeah, a nice good crust is forming on the outside. I'm gonna zoom in closer for you to look at it and see what I mean. And I was flipping this about a minute or so between each flip. This is sped up time wise, so don't really go by the timing of this video. The entire thing is sped up by at least 1.5 times regular speed because I felt the video was going to be way too long if I hadn't, and I shaved like 4 minutes off of just doing that. This is like almost a 20-minute long video. So there's my other flip after a minute or so of time, and you can see the crust is formed pretty well on the bottom side of it. Oh, that blip you saw was because I was using an old Canon camera and it had a 10-minute limit on the recording. So you're gonna see another blip, and that would be me stopping the video for the final cut. And I'm still prepping my herbs and in the background. You saw the garlic and the thyme in the little dish that I keep to the side for anyone who wanted to know what that was before I zoomed in sooner. And I have the butter there as well. I'm gonna scoop some out and put it next to the herb and garlic, the thyme, THYME, because people think I'm talking about timing and also thyme the herb. Yeah, I prefer to make sure I know that distinction. See, there's a betterment on that crust. Crust is getting so much better now. And I'm cooking the steak to rare because that's how I like my steak sometimes. Seeing as a new year, I wanted to start off with some fresh blood. Yeah, talk about cooking into the new year. I'm actually gonna be drinking some honey mead come striking midnight while probably watching the Avengers as Tony snaps his fingers right at midnight. Yeah, so gotta love royalty-free music that makes this scene more exciting. Cooking can be exciting on its own. You don't need background music. In fact, I was listening to Bob Marley, Satisfy My Soul, and a few good other reggae songs while I was actually cooking this. Now, see what I was talking about with the seasoning the sides? Because you want to sear your sides because that's going to keep the flavor locked in again still. And like I said, I'm just searing the sides. You can already see that it really did good. I think I showed, yeah, there it is. Just a glimpse of what I did, just to make sure I seared it. And I did it all the way around as best as I could. Don't worry if you missed a little bit. Locking in most of the flavor is what is important, not locking in all the flavor. You want to lock in all the flavor, but sometimes you don't. It happens. This is a beginner video anyway for people who are wanting to learn. Now, I should be zooming back out because once I like to do the sides, I immediately want to put in the herb, butter, and garlic. I remembered. Sorry, that was a loud pop probably. So, alright, one more flip. See how that it just immediately came back with a touch from it? That's definitely rare. I put that on top because sometimes you get a little sparkling back from it. There's the garlic and there's the butter. And there goes that butter. Gets me happy all the time. Give that a little swirl around. And now I'm going to base it. I heard the little popping right there as soon as I dropped in the thyme into the mixture. And then I just start basting the crap out of it. You want to give it that nice, beautiful bath with all the herbs and everything in it. And then I like to rub that garlic all over it for the extra flavor on top. Oh, look at that sizzle right there. Yeah. Oh, gotta love the basting of a steak. I swear, that's the best moment for me. So I'm grabbing a plate right now because it is ready to go rest. It had a nice workout. I'm gonna pick up the camera and just let you look at that steak for a second. Look at it. I could sit you down right there. Let it sit. Look at it. And then magic. Put some dobs of regular butter on it because I felt it was already too rich from all that buttery goodness. And even though I kind of find it a little sinful to spread the butter out like this, I don't care. This is for me. Remember, at the end of it all, you're cooking for yourself. I'm already alone on New Year's. I don't give a damn. Nobody else eating the steak for me. Even though this steak is actually quite big. I actually should have shared this with somebody else, but I don't give a damn. I'm going into the new year with a heart condition. There it is. I like my steaks rare. If you want to make sure it's not rare, I definitely recommend letting it sit for longer times on a lower heat. I would say on electric 7.5, just for that higher bit, and let it sit for about 1.5 minutes. But I'm just loving it. I already ate it. And then I had it with a side of mashed potatoes, which you can see on Instagram later. But there's my thumbs up. I'll see you guys later.